You know that feeling when you wake up on a winter day and it's so cold in the house that you just kind of debate staying in bed forever? Well, that's been my life for the last few weeks. It's been a cold Canada winter. But I finally fixed it with a device that both solves the temperature problem and pays me to do it? If you're new here, hey, I'm Coulter, and on this channel we cover things like retro handhelds and weird PC builds and hacks and all that, and in some cases, home automation, which brings us to today. Now, to be clear, Ecobee did not send me this. I bought this with my own money, and these are my own unfiltered thoughts. If you're a fan of honest and sometimes janky tech projects or tech reviews, then be sure to hit subscribe to see what else we do on this channel. But today we're looking at the Ecobee Premium model, and jumping right into it, the unboxing process was quite pleasant, honestly. They reassure you of how good a choice you made in purchasing it with all the pretty wording on the back and how basically you're saving money but also saving the planet, getting a fun toy to play with to boot, so all that sounded pretty good to me. And pretty quick they steer you into the app experience, which is smart because the app contains the very friendly, hold your hand step-by-step installation process to get this all up and running and installed in the wall. I appreciated the safety measures it took, where it even right in the app makes you take a photo of the existing wiring that was underneath your thermostat so that if something goes wrong, you can at least have that photo to show yourself or a friend or the professional you end up hiring. And then it dives right into it. Has you turn off your furnace system, pop the old thermostat off the wall, and start looking at the wires in there. Most furnaces have that light switch thing that you can just turn off, but I decided to turn off both my furnace and the air conditioner at the breaker level. But before we talk any further, it should be said that if you are at all uncertain about how to cut the flow of electricity to your thermostat and throughout your system, or how to test if any wires are hot or anything like that, it's probably good to consult a knowledgeable friend or a professional to help you out with this installation process. But if you're like me and you're comfortable stripping wires, repairing light fixtures, and accidentally getting shocked every now and again, then you're probably fine. Speaking of general home repair skills though, once I pulled off the old thermostat, it became very clear that whoever installed the original thermostat when they built this house kinda tried to find a stud or mount an anchor and then just gave up and made like 3 holes on each side right in the drywall. And because the new Ecobee won't cover that horizontal surface, that's now a very nice ugly eyesore on the wall, but thankfully nothing a little drywall mud couldn't fix afterward. The rest of the installation process was pretty straightforward. The app actually makes you enter what wires you have on your current thermostat, which ones are in use, if there's any little bridges in place. It gives you stickers so you can label each wire as you pull it out of the old terminal block. So then when you're installing the new terminal block, you can just match up the sticker wire to the labeled terminal block and make it pretty hard to screw up. However, I had the bonus difficulty of having this humidity controller really close to where the old thermostat was, and because the new Ecobee is a bit taller, I actually had to move the new mounting plate down a bit so that when the Ecobee goes on, it would actually have space to clear the humidity sensor. But thankfully I had just enough slack to get the shortest wires to the top of the terminal block and the new mounting plate, and I was able to confirm they went in properly when that little latch arm goes all the way down, so looks like everything is happy. And then later when you fire the power back up and plug in the Ecobee, it'll make you confirm, are these all the wires that should be here? And thankfully, yes, all 6 of my wires showed up in the right spots, so we were good to go. And once the Ecobee is plugged in and fired up, then it takes you through the little registration process where you pair it up with the app. And before you know it, you're just configuring settings in the app and telling it when you usually wake up and go to bed and playing with your comfort zones and pairing the little sensors, which are super easy to pair. You just pull the little tab and then it'll find the Ecobee and show up. You give it a name and it's good to go. So it's a very polished onboarding process, I must say. Quick note on the sensors though, don't make the mistake I did and forget that the Ecobee itself is a room sensor. And so when you get the premium model that comes with that separate sensor, if you only have 2 rooms/floors you want to cover, the Ecobee can do 1 floor and the other sensor can do another. So you may not have to buy bonus sensors like I did. Thankfully it did work out though, because I wanted to have a sensor in our bedroom, my wife's office, which is also on the 3rd floor, usually gets cold. So that way when she is in there, it'll know to heat the house to warm that room. But on the topic of those sensors, let's talk about actually using this whole Ecobee setup now that it's all in the wall and sensors are fanned around the house. And a big part of the value in the Ecobee system is, in my opinion, the comfort zones. And the way they work is out of the box, you get home, away, and sleep. And you can tell it what sensors are a part of each comfort zone. So for example, I have all my sensors a part of the home and away comfort zones. So it'll know that no one is in the house when all the sensors detect no people, thus triggering the away comfort zone, meaning it'll just kind of back off on the heat or the AC a bit. So we're not spending electricity unnecessarily for an empty house. And at the same time, all the sensors are on the home mode so that it'll know if someone is home to have the house at those more inhabitable, comfortable levels. And then for the sleep zone, I only have 1 sensor on it, and that's the bedroom one, because the sleep comfort zone has a target temperature of something like 16 degrees Celsius. And so when you have only 1 sensor in that comfort zone, the Ecobee system is going to only focus on that 1 room being 16 degrees Celsius. So if that room is already that cool, which is usually cooler up there anyway, we have a big window there and we like it cold in the winter so that we can snuggle up the blankets and fall asleep easier. If that room is already 16 degrees Celsius, it has no need to kick on the heat, even if other rooms in the house are even colder than that. But then at the wake up schedule, I think it's set for about 7 a.m., the home comfort zone kicks in. And because that bedroom sensor is part of the home comfort zone and it knows that there's at least someone in the bedroom, the system will try to make sure that for those people in the bedroom, we hit that target 17 or 17.5 Celsius that it's set to, meaning that we get to go to sleep in a cold environment, snuggle up to the blankets, but wake up in a comfortable, warm environment. So it's much easier to actually get out of bed and go downstairs and get on the exercise bike or the weight machine or whatever it is, instead of hitting snooze like 5 or 6 times, which I definitely never do. So yeah, comfort zones are a fantastic feature. But another killer feature that I had no idea I'd be getting is time of use tracking. So right in the onboarding process of the app, it asked me, hey, on your electricity bill, are you using time of use rates or even ultra budget overnight rates? And I was like, I don't know, let me check. Turns out on my electricity bill, no, we were using the tiered package, which means you pay a certain amount when you use up to this amount of electricity, and then you pay more money if you go over that. But then it also told me that it's only like 1% difference in price if you go to time of use. So by flipping my electricity bill over to that, and then telling the Ecobee that, yes, now I'm using time of use tracking, the Ecobee system will now try and save the times when it's running the furnace or the air conditioner much harder to preheat or pre-cool the house. It'll do all that in the middle of the night when it's much cheaper to run expensive systems like that, meaning that you save money and you're not running your system during those more expensive times of the day, at least not as much. So super surprised at how many ways this thing tries to save you money. I was just excited to like wake up to a warm house, honestly. And also in the onboarding process, it asked me, hey, what area are you in? You probably qualify for a rebate because you're using a smart home energy saver thing. And I was like, well, that's my area. And it's like, cool, I submitted it for you. I was like, what? And then sure enough, I got an email like 2 days later and they're like, yeah, we received that. And like, you'll probably get $75. Thanks for, helping the planet. I was like, cool. Thanks. And on top of that, before I even bought the Ecobee system, I got an email from my gas company saying, hey, you should go buy one of these smart thermostat models while they're on Black Friday sales. And if you qualify, we'll give you a $75 coupon code on top of that. And so that's exactly what I did. On the Ecobee Premium model with the 2 bonus sensors, I got them at Black Friday deals, then the $75 coupon. And then while setting it up, evidently got another $75 rebate from a different government program incentive or something. So I think after all incentives and discounts, this whole system with the 2 bonus sensors, I think is only running me like 200 some odd Canadian dollars, which is pretty awesome considering it'll probably pay for itself in the lifetime savings we're in this house. And the crazy thing is, up to this point, we've really only talked about the base features of the Ecobee Premium, most of which I think you can also find in the base and enhanced models as well. But this particular model also comes with air quality sensors, which is super cool. So we can see what the air quality is throughout the house. Thankfully, it's mostly good, but could be a little bit better, as well as humidity detection. And I think based on that data, it can automatically do some things to try and offset or work with the humidity somehow. Plus it works with Apple HomeKit, as well as Alexa and Google Home. Somehow I'm pretty sure you can cast Spotify to it, like it's a Bluetooth speaker or something. And on top of all that, apparently Ecobee's like a whole home automation platform now, to where you can buy Ecobee doorbell cams and door and window sensors. So it can kind of be a home alarm intrusion detection system. And I think you can like preview the doorbell cam from the Ecobee sensor and take a peek there. Just really cool stuff. Honestly, I'll probably be buying more Ecobee gadgets because, again, unsponsored opinion, but I've been nerding out pretty hard and enjoying this setup quite a lot. I'm like annoyed I haven't invested in it sooner. I really don't have many negative things to say about the platform. Like, you can get a weather feed from the Ecobee module itself. So before you go outside, you can see what the temperature today and for the next 4 days is, so you can kind of dress appropriately. Like, I guess it'd be nice if I could see like predicted precipitation levels from that little interface, but like it's quite a little nitpick, so I'm not gonna die on that hill. But especially with Google killing off the Google Nest thermostat, and then the recent news about even with those bricks on your wall, they're still sending logs back to Google. It's just nice that there is an apparently very solid option still on the market that will provide all of that value and a lot more, evidently. But after this whole love fest for the Ecobee Premium, I'm really curious to hear from you guys and know, what is your preferred smart thermostat setup? If it's the Ecobee, then go ahead and drop a fire emoji in the comments. But if it's something else, I'm super curious to hear, because I think I'm technically in the return window still. So if you can sway me to a different platform, I am all ears, because I love shiny objects and I love changing things unnecessarily. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like this video and home automation stuff, you'll probably like when I checked out the Deebot X11 Omni Cyclone, which is a pretty crazy fantastic robot vacuum, I must say.